Good morning students. Today we will be continuing the lesson Unit 19 Origin and Evolution of Life with the topic Variation. From the topic you can understand variation is a small changes that occurred in environment. So it is a very important factor for the evolution, and without variation there is no evolution. Let me get into the topic. Sexual reproduction, which involves meiosis, help in recombination of genes during gametic fusion. So meiosis is a type of cell division that occurs only in the reproductive cells, that is in the sperm or egg. Okay, literally it is acquired during the gametic fusion, that is the combination of your egg and fusing of the egg and sperm. So we know that by the fusing of egg and sperm, there develops an individual. The variation occurs in the phenotype of the offspring of its parent. So phenotype is nothing but the variation in height and weight of an individual, and that is continuing from the parent to the offspring. These major difference is called as variation, and it occurs also in animals, and that we call it as an evolution. So variation is the difference found among individuals of the same species and the offspring of the same parent. So we will not be finding variations among the different individuals. We will be finding variations among the same individuals of the same family. At times we could see the difference between the brothers and the parent of the same family. So variation is the raw material which plays an important role in evolution. So evolution would be possible without variation. Okay. So variation is the major factor that plays an important role in evolution. So it also will not be possible without variation. So there are two types of variation. The one is stomatic variation and the second one is germinal variation. So stomatic, in the sense we could say it is a body cell, variation in body cell. Germinal, in the sense we could say it is a variation in the gametes, that is the egg or sperm. So let me explain about the somatic variation. These are the variation which affect the body cells of the organism and that are not inheritable, heritable. They occur due to environmental factors. So as I said, these kind of variations are affecting the body cell. Once the variation occurs in the body cell, that is not inheritant, that is not heritable to the next generation. Okay, if a person has lost his hand, his siblings or his offsprings will not be without hands, they would have hands. So the germinal variation, these variation are produced in germ cells of the organism and they are inherited. They may be present in ancestors or may occur suddenly. They are classified into two types. Okay, so when a person is having 6 fingers, that may inherited to the next generation, to their offspring. They could have 6 fingers, they could have bluish eyes, they could have a very huge height likewise. So first one is continuous variation. These are small variation which occurs among individuals of a population. These are also called as fluctuating variation. They occur by gradual accumulation in a population. Example, skin color, height and weight of an individual, color of the eye, etc. So continuous variation is a very smallest variation which occurs among the individuals. Okay, it is also called as the fluctuating variation. So when these are occurred by a very gradual accumulation, only few people could experience this kind of variation. For example, skin color, they might be very white color, that may inherit to the next generation. They could be very height. Every people will not be very height. Only few people will be very height, very huge weight, then the color of the eye. This kind of variation is called as the continuous variation. So the next one is discontinuous variation. These are sudden changes which occur in an organism due to mutation. They do not have any intermediate forms. These large variations are not useful for evolution. Example, short-legged ancon sheep, 6 or more digit fingers in human, etc. Okay, so the discontinuous variation is, it is a variation, but that kind of variations will not be inherited to the next generation. If it occurs also, there is no use in that. Okay, these are the sudden changes which occurs in an organism, some type of mutations. Okay, so they do not have any intermediate forms. These kind of large variations are not useful for any evolution, but it is considered as a variation. So the discontinuous variation form the basis for mutation theory that is proposed by Hugo de Vries. Okay, so the human with 6 finger is nothing, but there is no use in that 6 finger. That kind of variation is called as discontinuous variation. Thank you.